In the United Kingdom, free bus travel has long been viewed not just as a benefit, but as a symbol of dignity, mobility, and respect for older generations who've contributed to society for decades. It's one of those rare schemes that has touched millions, from pensioners heading to the GP or local market to grandparents visiting family across town. But come the 6th of October 2025, the landscape of concessionary travel will begin to shift in ways that are both practical and symbolic. If you're aged 70 or above, your right to a free bus pass is not going away, but it is evolving. And those changes matter more than they first appear. Most people over 70 will still qualify for free bus travel, but the process will no longer be as simple as receiving a card once and forgetting about it for a decade or more. From October 2025, every free bus pass issued will carry new conditions. You will need to renew your pass every 5 years. That means providing proof of age, identity, and residence. If you're thinking, "I've already done that," you're not wrong, but now you'll be doing it again, regularly. This isn't a punishment. It's part of a growing movement to ensure that the right people are receiving the right entitlements, and that includes you. Let's imagine you're 75 and your pass is due to expire in March 2026. Under the new system, a few months before that, your local council will expect you to submit documents like your passport, a recent utility bill, and possibly a current photograph. If you don't act, you risk losing access to free travel, not because your eligibility changed, but because your paperwork didn't arrive. It's the kind of administrative tripwire that can catch even the most organized among us. That's why understanding the rules now, ahead of time, is crucial. What does this mean for real people in everyday situations? Take the example of a retired couple living in Yorkshire. David, 72, takes the bus twice a week to visit his brother in hospital. Margaret, 70, uses hers to get to the community centre where she volunteers. Both are independent and proud of it. But imagine if either of them misses the new renewal deadline. They may suddenly face unexpected transport costs, especially during peak hours, or worse, be forced to cancel commitments because travel is no longer accessible. It's not just about bus fares. It's about the social fabric that keeps older people active, connected, and engaged in their communities. One of the most significant changes is the shift in eligibility for new applicants. Up until now, in some parts of England, people as young as 60 were able to apply for a free bus pass. That's going to change. From October the 6th, 2025, the age threshold for new applicants will align with the state pension age. So, if you're turning 60 in 2026, you'll now have to wait longer perhaps until you're 67 before you qualify. This will not affect those who already hold a valid bus pass and are above the pension age. If you're 70 or older now and your pass is current, you're not being asked to reapply under the new age rules. But you will still need to follow the updated renewal procedures once your pass comes up for renewal. Some local councils have already started preparing for the shift. In Greater Manchester, for instance, trial schemes have been extended to accommodate earlier travel for older and disabled passengers. This shows that while national policy is moving towards standardization, local flexibility still plays a role. Depending on where you live, you may find that your council is more accommodating than others. It's worth checking in with your local authority before October comes around, not only to understand your rights, but to find out whether your area offers any additional support or transitional guidance. The renewal requirement may sound minor at first glance, but for many, it could be a tipping point. Let's consider someone living alone in a rural village in Devon. Her bus pass allows her to go into town twice a week for groceries and to see her grandchildren. She's not online and relies on paper mail. If her council decides to send renewal notices by email or text only, she could miss it. That's why councils are being encouraged to provide both digital and paper renewal options to avoid excluding those who are not as tech-savvy. It also means that friends, family, and carers may need to step in and help when renewal time rolls around. Another major point to consider is the enforcement of travel hours. Traditionally, free travel for older people has applied from 9:30 in the morning to 11 at night on weekdays, and all day on weekends and public holidays. That's still the rule. But what's changing is how strictly those hours will be enforced. In the past, a few early trips may have slipped under the radar. Going forward, expect conductors and digital systems to apply the rules more consistently. That means, if you try to board a bus at 9:25, you may be asked to pay the full fare. There are exceptions, however. For example, if you have a medical appointment before 9:30, some councils will allow free travel if you provide evidence in advance. This discretionary flexibility is important, especially for people with chronic health conditions who need to access early care. But again, it requires planning. You can't just flash your card and expect leniency anymore. You may need to fill out a form, call the council, or get your GP to confirm your appointment. These are the kinds of practical realities that need to be communicated clearly and compassionately. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. These changes are happening because local governments are under immense financial pressure. The cost of running the National Concessionary Travel Scheme has grown steadily over the years. More people are living longer and staying active into older age, which is wonderful, but it also means more demand on public transport services. By aligning eligibility with pension age and introducing more frequent renewal, the government hopes to cut down on fraud, misuse, and administrative errors, while still maintaining the core promise of free travel for those who genuinely need it. There's also a technological angle to all of this. More councils are moving toward digital ID systems, contactless verification, and data-driven monitoring of travel patterns. That's good news for efficiency, but it can be daunting for someone in their 70s or 80s who's never used a smartphone. This is where community centers, libraries, and local charities could play a bigger role, offering help with renewals, document scanning, and digital submissions. If you're unsure about how to upload a photo or scan a bill, reach out early. The sooner you prepare, the smoother the process will be when your renewal date comes up. It's also worth noting that these rules apply primarily to England. Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland have their own systems, and in some cases, they are more generous. In Wales, for example, people over 60 continue to receive free bus passes without the stricter age restrictions being introduced in England. This leads to situations where someone living just across the border in Wales gets a benefit years earlier than their neighbour in Herefordshire. It's a reminder of how postcode lotteries can affect access to services and why it's important to stay informed about what your local council is doing. For those with disabilities or chronic conditions, there's reassurance in knowing that disability-based entitlements remain unchanged. If you're under the pension age but meet the criteria for a disability pass, you can still apply as usual. This includes people who are blind, partially sighted, have severe mobility issues, or cannot drive for medical reasons. Those rules are not being tightened in 2025. In fact, some councils are expanding support in this area to ensure that vulnerable adults aren't penalized by the age-related changes. The core message is this: don't assume your current pass will work forever. Take control now. Check the expiry date. Set a reminder 3 months in advance. Gather your documents: passport, utility bill, proof of address. Contact your local council to confirm their renewal process. Some councils may automatically send a renewal pack. Others may require you to initiate the process yourself. Either way, being proactive could save you time, stress, and money. If you're helping an elderly parent, neighbor, or friend, now is the time to talk to them about these changes. Ask them when their pass expires. Offer to help them renew it. Make sure they understand that while their entitlement hasn't been taken away, it's now something that must be maintained. Don't wait for October to roll around. The earlier you act, the better prepared you'll be. This isn't just about bus passes. It's about independence. It's about being able to get out of the house, attend medical appointments, visit family, take part in local life, and stay active in old age. A bus pass is a key to all of that. And while the rules may be changing, the value of that key remains as vital as ever. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more updates like this, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Staying informed is the best way to protect your rights and make sure no one is left behind as policies evolve. These small changes can have big effects, and knowledge is what turns uncertainty into empowerment.